Hey YouTubers, Mike Borders with the Mike Borders channel. Thank you for watching. In this video, we are going to do something creative with an open space in our kitchen above our stove. Let's check it out. In the kitchen now, and that is the stove top. That is the surface that I am referencing. And the previous owners, they had a really neat and fancy shelf that hung there. And what we want to do is we want to do something a little different. With that said, rather than going out and purchasing a new shelf, we're going to show you what we have in mind. So with that said, we've got something pretty creative in mind. We are actually going to purchase 5 clocks, and each clock is going to be a 10-inch clock. And 4 of the clocks are going to be 12-hour clocks. The middle clock is going to be a 24-hour clock that reads Zulu time. Now, in the event that you have never heard of Zulu time, that is what the entire aviation industry goes off of. So anytime pilots are out checking weather or getting any forms of updated material such as paperwork for a flight, everything is in Zulu time. So you'll be able to see that shortly once we get the Zulu clock out. Here's a quick view of the actual brand, make, and model of the clock and what the image of the clock looks like. Again, it is a 10-inch round black clock with a second hand. And a very important feature of this clock that we were so heavily searching for is it has silence technology built into it. So after we hang all 5 of the clocks, even though they're all going to be in the same room so close to each other, there will not be a single sound being generated by any of the clocks. If you could imagine 5 clocks in the same room close together, if you did not purchase clocks that had that silence technology built into it, you could only imagine how loud all those clocks will be in that single room. Back to the actual surface, what we're going to do is do some measurements, and we want the clocks as well as the city nameplates to be centered inside those trim. So without boring you with all the measurements, after measuring the length as well as the height, all 5 nails that we sunk are 13 inches apart. That will allow a 2-inch gap from this side, a 2-inch gap on the other side, as well as the exact same measurements in between each clock. And all 5 clocks will be perfectly centered. Easier said than done in most cases. On the left, the 4 regular clocks, and on the right, it is a different brand because it is a 24-hour clock and reads Zulu time. So it definitely will stand out, and again, it will be in the middle, so that's kind of what we want. However, the first thing we need to do is reference the city as well as the city time. Insert the AA battery on the back side, set the proper time, and then hang. Battery is inserted. Second hand, as you can see, is sweeping. And now let's set the time. First clock is hung, and I think that looks pretty neat. Let's move on to the second clock. Get the battery in it, set the time, and get it hung. Second clock is hung, the time is properly set. Let's move on to the third clock. The third clock is up and hung and properly set to the city time. And as you can see, between these 2 clocks there is a gap. That is where the Zulu clock is going to go. And we're going to do that last. So from here, let's move all the way to the far right and insert the next clock. Fourth clock is up and hung. And now we're going to focus on the Zulu clock. Let me know if you've actually figured out which time zones we're picking. Zulu clock is up and hung and at the proper time, and is that cool or what? Now it's time to move on and add the actual city nameplates that will go underneath each clock. This is going to be awesome.